Good night. Welcome to another edition of Come Out Things. Now, over the weekend, we would have seen a video with a lady proselytizing about what transpired with her visit to the hospital, to the accident emergency to be exact. And it would have went viral. She spoke about the conditions and the amount of people that were there, and people lying on the ground and the lack of staff, etc. Now, we've been hearing this for a long time, for quite some time. But what happened is that this lady is not a social media personality. As a matter of fact, from my understanding, she's J. Cody Singer's mother. But because she's not one who is consistently in the cliques of public scrutiny, and maybe because of her status, it would have gotten a lot of momentum. And to be quite truthful with you, I believe her. I believe her strongly. What made me though step back a bit was how fast Dr. Linda Williams responded. How fast Shane Jones, the public relations officer, the public relations consultant at the QH responded. And then you heard the CEO of the Clinical Hospital, Neil Clark, stating that he sent some people down there to check an accident emergency to see if people were actually on the ground. And what they saw were ambulance stretchers with people lying down on them, and that these stretchers are sometimes placed on the ground so the people aren't on the ground. I don't know where these people went to school here, but I know that if something on the ground ain't on the ground here. Anyway, what is happening though is that I'm not going to politicize this in any way. This is not being politicized because you know why? Both administrations are to blame. I'm going to give you a little history lesson. The hospital was opened in 1964, November 14th, I think. And at that point in time, the population of Barbados was about 230,000 people. The population now is 280-something thousand people. We still have, with a population of more than 250,000, one single hospital that serves the north, the south, the east, and the west. You understand? This should not be happening because we are receiving lots of money through financial institutions worldwide. Where is the money going? I want to know that. Where is the money going? Money should be spent on nurses. Money should be spent on equipment. Money should be spent on the infrastructure and listen, not only that, but money needs to be spent on placing facilities that people can go to medically within the north and eastern sections of the island. You understand? So these people have been very, very, very negligent in what they're doing, and that's why we are in the state that we are in today. No wonder when the Chinese ship came here, they tried to get as many people onto it as possible. Because they can't handle the people, so they gotta pray that way. I feel they're hoping for another ship to come. When the ships come, they try to get as many people onto it as possible, so as to ease the little burden, the burden that they themselves have created. But I'm gonna let you know something, right? And this is something that the government does not let people know, and the health authority should let people know. Barbados has something called a medical aid scheme. A medical aid scheme, right, is where you have people who have special needs or surgeries that cannot be done locally here. The hospital then is supposed to assess them. A consultant then assesses them, refers it then to assessment body. That assessment body then refers it to the social work department. You understand? And then if you need or require surgery or specialized treatment, the government pays for you to be taken overseas to be dealt with. A lot of people don't know this. Because you know how this came to my knowledge? Because of a friend of mine who works at CBL Chambers, Anthony Hines. Because he has Crohn's disease, right? And he has been going through hell with his stomach and intestinal problems in trying to get overseas to get the treatment he requires, because there are no consultants or there are no specialists here in Barbados to deal with it. You understand? And you tell me that a country in this time and age does not have a specialist to deal with certain intestinal, abdominal, gastrointestinal issues? That's you telling me? Come on, man. Where is the money going? Somebody's spending it. And they spending it on the things that we should be spending it on. We need to prioritize. Healthcare is important for the old, the young, the middle class. Don't care who it is. Healthcare. We pay our taxes. We are entitled to proper healthcare. We're entitled to timely responses from ambulance, personnel, nurses, doctors, etc. And we're entitled to aftercare. You understand me? And we are not getting that with the rate things are going at the QH and under successive governments. No, I'm finished with the hospital for the time being. I'm going to the prison now, right? Now, what's happening is this. We remember the guy who escaped from the hospital. Now, the guy he was caught by the police. I don't understand the police. He was in good medical condition when he was caught by the police and brought to the prison. I'm hearing it is alleged that when he got into the prison, that his foot was broken. I'm not saying who did it, but I'm hearing his foot was broken. So now I'm hearing that he receives visits only via video. This is what I'm hearing. All right? This is what I'm hearing. All right. What I do know is that a guy was beaten severely. He was knocked unconscious by an officer, taken to a segregation unit, and they pepper sprayed him to the whole section of segregation was affected. I mean, because they're inmates living down there. The inmates living down there, like Andre Jackman, alias Lord Evil, Nigel Pinder, alias Bounty. They're special inmates they have down there whom they believe are security threats or can influence others. And they bombard down there with pepper spray and all the men down there knock out. You understand? No. I'm hearing that up to yesterday or day before, that there was an incident on J Block whereby a handcuff key was missing. This is what I'm hearing. It's alleged a handcuff key was missing. But I'm hearing now that the big boy himself went down there and put some lashes in the boy in order to get back retrieve this handcuff key. Now you see this? Now suppose the guys down there decide, you know what, let me hold he hostage. What do you think would have happened? You understand? How can he know, you understand, adjudicate that matter? Because remember, matters are supposed to go before the superintendent of prisons if a person commits an infraction. How can he adjudicate a matter where he himself is alleged to have been involved in the matter? You got to call in the visiting committee or visiting justice. That's the only thing you could do. You understand? I do not understand what is really happening. But a lot of people, I continue to tell you, both prison officers and inmates are disgruntled with the treatment they're getting at Barbados Prison Service. These people were supposed to be paid overtime and acting monies. The people give them a pittance. They give them the money. People pay them a pittance. I understand that right now, a lot of money is missing. I understand that money is missing. Okay? And they're blaming the wrong body when they know the right body, who the body bring. Is the body to blame? All kind of things going on there. And they do not know what these people have. The Minister of Home Affairs is doing nothing, because you see some of these appointments real political, you know. Some of these appointments are political. You're not dealing with people on merit. You understand? And there's a lot of favoritism going on right now with this particular administration. I don't know, previously the other administration did it, but this one, you can see playing like a thunderstorm coming. Big. There's a lot of nepotism and cronyism going on. You understand? And we cannot get things run properly if people feel disgruntled or disadvantaged, because they will sabotage things and they will not give their full 100% when they're working. They will not. So that's where we will get escapes and all kinds of things, and money's being stolen and all kinds of things happening. You understand? Disgruntledness and officers sick and they turning up for work. These are the kind of things that will happen. You understand me? Anyway, I just wanted to touch on those two institutions. I want to start dealing with institutions and what is happening with them, all right? So I'm going to do that. But what I'm going to do now, too, is I'm going to start doing a lot of lives. All right, I'm going to start doing some lives. So I want you people, please, if you get a chance, subscribe so you can hear when it comes up. All right? Just subscribe, okay? And you will get the chance to hear some things which you have never heard about. Things will know come out. Anyway, keep your spirits up. Keep your tempers down. And remember, please, do something good for somebody each and every day. All right? All right, everyone. Have a wonderful night.